The lights dimmed in the grand auditorium, and a hush fell over the crowd. Cameras clicked, capturing every detail of the moment as Oprah Winfrey, the queen of heartfelt conversations, leaned forward in her chair. Across from her, Senator Kennedy sat, calm but visibly carrying the weight of the world in his eyes. The audience leaned in, sensing that something profound was about to unfold. Oprah's voice, soft but unwavering, broke the silence. "Senator Kennedy, the world knows you as a fighter, a voice for justice, and a man who stands for truth. But tell us, what is the one thing that keeps you awake at night?" The question seemed simple, yet it carried the weight of 1,000 untold stories. Kennedy paused, his fingers lightly clasped, and the room held its collective breath. For a moment, it felt like the walls themselves were leaning in, waiting for his confession. I think about people," he began, his voice low, almost hesitant. "People who don't have a voice. Children who go hungry while the world argues about politics. Families torn apart by systems that claim to protect them but fail. I think about the moments I could have done more, and I didn't." The audience shifted, the words striking like a quiet thunder. It wasn't anger or politics he spoke of, it was raw human truth, a vulnerability so rare that it made the powerful feel powerless and the powerless feel seen. Oprah's eyes glistened. "It takes courage to say that," she said softly. "To admit that even leaders have fears, doubts, and regrets." Kennedy nodded. "It's not just courage, Oprah. It's honesty. I've spent my life learning that the world doesn't change from grand gestures alone. Change comes from small acts of compassion, from admitting when you're wrong, from listening when no one else wants to hear. And yet, sometimes, when you fall short, the weight of it haunts you." A murmur ran through the audience. Phones were lowered, even the camera crews seemed entranced by the quiet confession. It was a side of Kennedy no one had seen, no speeches, no debates, no press releases could have prepared anyone for this moment. Oprah leaned in, her voice a mixture of curiosity and tenderness. "And what do you do when that weight feels too heavy?" Kennedy's eyes filled with moisture. He looked at the floor for a brief moment, gathering strength from somewhere deep inside. "I try to remember why I started. I try to remember the faces of those I vowed to serve, the voices of children and families who believed someone would stand up for them. And I remind myself that even if I fail sometimes, the smallest act of honesty, the softest truth, can make a difference." The room was silent. Not the expectant silence of waiting, but the sacred silence of reflection. People's hearts were open. Tears streamed quietly down faces in the crowd. Somewhere in the back, a woman clasped her hands and whispered a prayer, while a young man in the front row wiped his eyes, realizing the fight for